she, as I told in conference call, that she is one of the ladies. In fact, very important that she is the first person who is being glorified in Srimad Bhagavatam and whose prayers are there in Srimad Bhagavatam. Not Bhishma, not Prahlad, not Dhruva, but Queen Kunti. And we can understand that how much important her prayers would be, that Sukadeva Goswami included these prayers in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is first canto, 8th chapter, when Krishna is leaving Hastinapur, going to Dwarka. He's ready to go, and Kunti, she comes and she stops Krishna and starts praying to her. That's the scene. So she prays to him and also glorifies him from verse 18 to verse 43. I think that's so she is glorifying, and in the process she is also, her hidden agenda is to request Krishna to not go. That's a request. That's all. Although she doesn't tell this clearly here. In fact, after this, Yudhishthira Maharaj, you read Bhagavatam, he also comes. He requests Krishna directly. Krishna, why don't you please stop here? And in fact, on the request of Yudhishthira Maharaj, at least according to Mahabharata, Krishna stayed for a few days and then he left. According to Bhagavatam, Krishna left, and Yudhishthira Maharaj gave a big military or infantry with Krishna so that they can protect him along the way, and that's something unique because Yudhishthira knew that he's God, but nevertheless he was worried for his protection. And that's love. That's called love. Love doesn't know power or supremacy. Love only knows service. That's all. So Kunti, as I was telling, Kunti starts these prayers with supremacy of God, Krishna, but then slowly she comes to glorify sweetness of Lord Krishna. That's Queen Kunti. So she is, now we are on 26th verse, and she says, this very important verse actually, Prabhupada used to quote often. Janmaishware Shruta Shribhir Edaman Madhapavan Nayavarahati Abhidhatum Vai Tvam Akinchana Gocharam. This is a beautiful verse, and Kunti is saying, in previous verses Kunti said, who can see you? So Kunti concluded that those who have devotion, they can see you. Those who don't have devotion, Krishna has right to not to reveal himself to them. Not out of grudge, but out of mercy. Krishna revealing to somebody is his mercy. Krishna not revealing, that's also mercy, no? So actually one of the saint of South India, he said that if Krishna doesn't reveal himself to you, and if your life is, there are many problems in your life, many sufferings, as Kunti, previous verse, Vipada Santuya Tadvat, Kunti says, let those sufferings come again, Krishna, so that we can again and again see you. No? So that saint, he said, if there are sufferings in your life, then this is a sure sign that Krishna is planning to take you back to Godhead. That's conclusion of that saint. So you be rest assured that he has a plan for you to take you back to him. And this is a devotee. A devotee can always see Krishna in all situations. We can just afterwards. So devotee can always see Krishna in all situations. It's difficult. It's not easy to do that, especially when we are suffering It's very difficult to see Krishna behind sufferings. Behind happiness we can see, because we are happy, and Krishna is always happy. But behind sufferings there is hand of God. That's difficult, and that is why Kunti is praiseworthy, because Kunti is seeing Krishna, the plan of Krishna behind all our sufferings, all the years. Like Pandavas suffered for 13 years. That's not small. One after another, and then she is praying, give me more sufferings. Not because she likes suffering, but because she knew that when she was suffering, Krishna was there with them. But now, when all sufferings are over, Krishna is going. So she chose sufferings in spite of happiness. This is pure devotion. And in fact, it is said that there are 3 things which can purify us. 3. Or you can say 3 fires which can purify you. One is the fire of guilt. And that is why in Christianity you find, there is a concept of repentance. Is it? Entire Christianity can be summed in 2 words. Prayers, or 3 words. Prayers, repentance and love. That's what Christianity is all about, on which they focus. And that is also mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam, the fire of guilt that can purify you. And in fact, Krishna says to Uddhav in 11th canto, that when my devotee, when he does some wrong things out of habit, or thinks something wrong out of tendency of mind, out of wrong tendency of mind, then he should not become depressed, but he should feel guilty. There is no question of depression. So out of habit we all do wrong things, which we know that wrong, but we are doing. We are doing as if, Arjuna says, as if we are controlled by somebody. So mind controls us. So what to do in that situation? Krishna says, no problem. You don't become depressed. That okay, I can't do anything. Because if you become depressed, then you can advance. But nevertheless, feel guilty. That yes, Krishna, I've done wrong. And that fire of guilt will purify you. That's the first fire. And the second fire is the fire of love. That's another fire which can purify us, which is actually more powerful than fire of guilt. So fire of love, which love cannot be stopped. Ahitu kya pratyata, no? It cannot be stopped by any. No sins can stop it. In fact, fire of love can burn all sins. And third fire is fire of love can also be translated as fire of separation. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Entire Chaitanya Charitamrita is about separation. Prabhupada says in Elevation to Krishna Consciousness, aim of life is actually not to love Krishna, but to love Krishna in separation. That's what Prabhupada actually mentions a statement. We don't want an ordinary love. We want love which is full of separation. Now, that's in a small book. You can imagine. First time I read in Elevation to Krishna Consciousness, I was thinking, what's happening here? Why Prabhupada is saying in small book, which we are distributing on streets. And if person reads, what he's going to make out? He's not going to make out anything. But at least he's going to make out one thing, that there are many things which has to be accomplished. I'm nowhere in the picture. That at least he can understand that. So that's fire of separation or fire of love. And third fire is fire of humbleness. So fire of humbleness, which actually Mahaprabhu always said, Trinadapi Sunichena, no? So it is said that your heart should always be on fire. But anyway, morning we sing Samsara Dava Nalalita Loka, no? The word is on fire, and let it be extinguished by the merciful rains of the spiritual master. But at the same time, at the same time we have to put fire in our heart. And once that fire in our heart, once we ignite our heart with love, with humbleness and with guilt, fire of this material world will extinguish for you. No more fire. That's the technique of Lord Chaitanya. He came to teach this. In fact, Prabhupada said that when you chant nicely, one day this mystery will be revealed to you. This is a mystery. It's a mystery. Now it is theory, but it's a mystery. This cannot be understood intellectually. It's impossible. You have to pray to Krishna so that he can reveal this mystery to you. And that's why Gita says, Arjuna said to Krishna, Krishna, who can understand you? So what was the reply of Arjuna? Arjuna himself said, who can understand you? And he gives a reply for that. And what did Arjuna say? Huh? No, that Arjuna is saying, I can understand by your mercy. But Arjuna says, who can understand you? Who can understand Krishna? That's the question. And that answer is in Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna gives the answer in Bhagavad Gita. So what's the answer? No, who can understand Krishna? Actually, Arjuna says, only you can understand you. Yeah, swayam eva atmana. Arjuna says, only you can understand you. Nobody else can understand you. Only Krishna can see Krishna. Nobody else can see him. See means know. See means understand. And only he can see him. So, what about us? Can we see him? No. And so what to do? Let's go back, pack our bags and go back, because we cannot see him. We cannot understand him. But then it is said that because only he can see him, so if you see him through his eyes, you will be able to see him. There's no other way. If you see him through your eyes, it's impossible. So you have to see him through his eyes. And you can get his eyes only if he wants to give you his eyes. That's all. And that is why Krishna gave Arjuna divine eyes, no? He gave, divine eyes means his own eyes. He gave his own eyes to Arjuna to see his universal form. He said, by this eyes you will not be able to see me. So, people who have humbleness, love and guilt in their heart, and who always pray to Krishna, we have to pray to him. Krishna, please make yourself understand to me. Please make these mysteries revealed to me. Maybe it might happen till your last breath, these mysteries might not be revealed to you. It might happen like that. It's not easy to unlock these mysteries. That is why Mahaprabhu said it's an open secret. Devotion is an open secret. We can chant, we can do everything, but if Krishna is not merciful, we'll achieve nothing. But if he is merciful, Krishna says to Uddhav, you can attain those things which is even beyond your wildest dreams. So, Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion, the secret to devotion is always pray. Keep on praying. Walking, talking, going. And in fact, Prabhupada says in Science of Self-Realization, chanting is the best prayer. No? Prabhupada said. But we have to figure out that it's the best prayer. That's our job. It doesn't automatically become a prayer. You can say Hare Krishna, but you have to figure out how this is a prayer. Otherwise, we'll be chanting like a parrot. That's also useful. That's not bad. At least beginning is like that, chanting like a parrot. But slowly, when you keep on praying, these things open. So Prabhupada says that these mysteries are superhuman conception. beyond the conception of human beings. Chaitanya Charitamrita Prabhupada says that this is beyond conception of human beings. This can only be understood by blessings. Blessings of Krishna. So Kunti Maharani actually making the same point in these prayers. Kunti Maharani is making the same points, and now she is coming to this verse. Who can not understand him? Okay, these are the person who can understand him. Pure people, perfect people, but who will not be able to understand him? And Kunti Maharani actually brings a contrast here. Who can not understand him and who can understand him? So black and white, darkness and light. Kunti Maharani says, who cannot understand? Janma Ishvara Shruta Shribir Edaman Madhapaman. This is a beautiful verse, and she says anybody who is proud of these four things, they will never be able to understand things. These four things are not bad, but if you feel possessiveness for them in spite of Krishna, then you are in a problem. So what are those things? Kunti Maharani says Janma means high parentage. High parentage, you are Brahman. Especially South Indians, that's a problem. Presently also, Brahman family and other family, and they were very proud of. Is it South? It's a problem still. Jan and Aishwarya. Aishwarya means richness, money. Possessing money is not bad, but to be possessive, but to have possessiveness for that money, that is bad. And what do you mean by possessiveness? That this money is for my selfish use. That we mean by possessiveness. That's a bad thing. That will block you. And Shruta means, what does Kunti Maharani say? Shruta means, what does it say? Shruta means education. Shruta means hearing. Prabhupada translates as education. So people who are proud of education, in fact, people are proud of Vedic education also. There are so many Pandits if you go to Kashi, also Banaras, there are so many Sanskrit Pandits, and they are very proud of their education. And last is Shribi. Shribi means, how does Prabhupada translate as Shribi? Shribi means beauty. Shri means money and also beauty, but because Aishwarya means money, so Shri means beauty. People who are proud of beauty, they will not be able to understand Krishna. So these are not bad, but to be proud of these, that's a bad thing. And what do you mean by proud? It's a problem in house, and that's okay. And to be pride means that to have possessiveness for that. In fact, Rupa Goswami, he says in Nectar of Devotion, and Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Devotion, that the only symptom of love is possessiveness. That's the symptom of love. Like okay, for example, let me ask you, who is Krishna? So what's your answer?
God.
Supreme Personality of Godhead. Is it? How many people say yes to that? Sure?
Yes.
Okay, but there's a problem in this statement. There's a problem. Can anybody figure out the problem?
He's also the Lord of the heart.
Okay, so how do you want to address him? If I ask who is Krishna, you don't say Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because that is, if you ask any Paramahams or any Jnani, Rishi and Muni, they will say, who is Krishna? Supreme Personality of Godhead. But what should be the answer of devotees?
Supreme Lover.
Yeah, anything else? Rishis might also figure out he's Supreme Lover, but what about us?
Sukrit or Well-wisher.
No. Now you see, I'll tell you. There's a difference between these two statements. Who is Krishna? Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who is Krishna? Krishna is God, one statement. Another statement is Krishna is my Lord, my sweet God. There's a difference between both. Is it? What's the difference? One statement is neutral. Another statement is having possessiveness. He's my. And that's what Prabhupada says. Mamatva, that is called mamatva. In Sanskrit it's called mamatva. Rupa Goswami says, this is the symptom of love. You are having possessiveness. And if you don't have possessiveness for Krishna, you will have possessiveness for these four things. Somewhere this possessiveness will go. Somewhere. So, or in simple words, somewhere this me and mine will go. So Krishna is mine. That is devotion. He's my Krishna. Or, of course, in this statement, we presume that he is the Lord of my Lord. That's the idea. He is my sweet Lord, but he is the master of my master. That's the understanding. No, between us there are different Vaishnavas, but nevertheless he is my master. And there is a verse in Gita where Arjun says that he's our sweet Lord. Where is that verse? Can you tell me? There is a verse in Bhagavad Gita, and Arjuna says, Param Dhama, Param Brahma. That's a very neutral. He is supreme. He is. But Arjuna specifically says, Krishna, you are my master. You are my guide. You are everything to me. So, there's a famous verse. Should I give that homework? You can figure out and tell me. I am here for some time. You figure out and tell me. Tomorrow I'll ask you. In Bhagavad Gita especially. So, what? Chapter. Why should I tell you chapter then? I can tell you, but still you'll not be able to figure out. But tomorrow I'll tell you chapter if you're not able to figure out anything. I'll give you a hint tomorrow. So pride comes from possessiveness. And that is why it is said that a devotee is proud that Krishna is his master. And that's true false ego, no? And false or true ego. And false ego is that, okay, I'm proud that this house is mine, this education, I'm so great, and this and that. So that root of pride is possessiveness. That we have to understand. And that is why all throughout in the chapters of Karma Yoga, throughout in Karma Yoga, Krishna says just one thing in Karma Yoga: leave possessiveness. No? Yeah, leave it, attachment. Krishna says, do work without attachment. That's the idea of first 6 chapters. That's all. That's the essence. So Krishna is trying to make us understand that that's only possible if you think that Krishna is yours. Otherwise, it will not go. It's not. You can't advance on the path of love. That's impossible. So that kind of thing. So that's why Kunti Maharani says, Edaman Madhapaman. Sometimes this possessiveness can change into addiction. Mada means addiction. Addiction can change into obsession, and obsession can change into madness. Mada means madness. So people become mad for money, for opulence, for education. Education also people become mad. Some people keep on reading their whole life, at least in America, First you do MBA, then person thinks, okay, no, I have to become doctor, then he is doctor, then he thinks I have to become scientist. Isn't America, no? 70-year-old female, they are going to colleges and they are reading some course. And they are obsessed. They are obsessed of that. So, and Chaitanya Charitamrita says, who was Nityananda Prabhu? He was a madman. You see? It is said, that word is used, baul. If you read Sanskrit, baul word is used. But of course, there are some people in Bengal and Jagannath Puri, and they borrowed this word from Chaitanya Charitamrita, baul, and they started a community, Baul Sampradaya, and they call themselves we are mad in love of God. But actually but then their philosophical understanding is wrong, and they deviated from the sect. But nevertheless, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says our aim of life is to become mad. So anyway, you have to become mad, either for this material world or for God. So issue is not that you are not mad. Issue is for whom you are mad. That's the question. And that is why Kunti Maharani brings a contrast here. Na eva arhatiya vidhatum vai. Tvam akinchana gocharam. Who can see you who is akinchan? So akinchan means who. Prabhupada actually translates akinchan as, how does he translate? One who is approached easily by a materially exhausted man. So akinchan means who has possessions but who has no possessiveness for those possessions. So we have this body, but we don't have possessiveness for this body. This is from me. This is mine. We don't think like that. This house is mine. We don't think like that. I am mine. We also don't think like that. Even I am also not mine. That is self-realization. If you can figure out what that means, that Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that I am no longer mine, and that's why this so in South, so there were big alvars, no? You know alvars, big saints. So one disciple, he came to that big alvar and he asked, so he asked, can you teach me? So he said, I can teach you on one condition. I can teach you on one condition. Are you ready to lose yourself? He said, I'm ready. Okay, now I'll teach you. That's a big statement. If I tell you, are you ready to lose yourself? He'll say, come on, he is mad, We can't even learn from him. Let's go back. You're not even to figure out what that statement means, but it's a big statement. That's a big statement. We have to lose ourselves in service of God. That means I also don't belong. I don't belong to me, myself. The sense of I-ness and my-ness is offered to God. And that Krishna wants, finally. Although Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyame Bhakta Prachati, we start with this, offering flowers, offering fruits, everything we offer to Krishna, offering of money. But ultimately, He wants from us that I and mine, what we have reserved for us. That we have reserved for us, no? That's all. Because we say, okay, I will offer flowers to Krishna, I will offer food to Krishna, I will offer my house, I will offer my body. Krishna says, what about I? What about am I keeping this with you? Because that's not easy. That's not easy to do. At least on experiential level, that's not easy to do. If you close your eyes, you will feel you are you. You will not feel that somebody is there within you. You can't feel that, no? Although Krishna is there within us. Do you feel somebody sitting inside you?
No.
You feel? No. You feel like that? Nobody else of us feel like that. But Krishna is there. Then why we are not feeling? And everything is to do with feeling, no? And experience. That's Krishna consciousness. Krishna bhavana amrit sang. Bhavana means feeling. So what's happening? Why we are not feeling that somebody is there inside us? For liberated souls, it's not like that. Liberated souls, so what they feel? Somebody is inside them? No. They don't feel that. They feel something else. Can you figure out what they feel? Self-realization. That is self-realization. They don't feel somebody is inside me, because then there's no me. There's no me. This body is not mine. So they feel that I am inside somebody. I am inside this body which doesn't belong to me. Not he is there with me. I am with him. That's the idea. That is self-realization. So I am with him, not he is with me. He is with me, not a good concept. Not a good concept. There's still a tinge of materialistic understanding there. So I am with him. That's self-realization. And that's what this word akinchana gocharam means. Prabhupada says, materially exhausted man. A person is exhausted materially. Person has exhausted his money. So here exhaust means he has left possessiveness for money, for everything, even possessiveness for I. Okay, you offer I to Krishna. And that is love. That's actually Krishna is waiting for that moment. As soon as you do that, you're going back to Godhead. And unless we don't do that, we're not going back to Godhead. And that is the most difficult thing. And that is why sometimes Krishna has to be a little harsh with us. Because we are not ready to leave that I with which we are attached. Is it? So suppose if I slap you, what are you going to do?
Why did you slap me?
You'll ask me, why did I slap you? I'll slap you again. Then what do? So what do if I slap you? You might...
That is asking his mother.
So if I slap you once, you might not say anything. I slap you again, and if I start beating you, then you might start defending yourself, is it? And at one point, if I start beating you, you might also start attacking me. You'll forget. This is Keshav Anand Prabhu. You'll forget. 100% you'll forget. If it comes on your life. If it comes on your life, you'll not see who is who. Because then it will go by reflex. Not by your intelligence. You'll be out of your control, no? And this is a very gross example I'm giving. Beating. If I start abusing you, that might happen. That will work, It's not, beating is not required. I start abusing you and always torturing you by words. Some people shoot people, no? Is it? If you keep on torturing them by words and keep on bossing over them, people get freak out, and they shoot others. Okay, we can't tolerate this. So why it's like that? Because we are attached to this experience of I. Okay, I. This I is important. If I is harmed, then even if God comes, I'm not going to see anything. We will not see Him. We will not even see Him. If I is harmed, if your house is harmed, okay, you can tolerate. If your prasadam is harmed, no problem. You can still, okay, fine, They didn't say prasadam for me, okay, fine, theek hai, chalo, chhod do. Forgive and forget. If your money is harmed, yes. If your children are harmed, okay, to a certain extent you can, if you want. But if I is harmed, you will not be able to do anything. Nothing you will be able to do. Because this shows that we are so much attached to I. And that's what Kunti is saying. Akinchana. Akinchana means who has nothing for himself. Poor. Akinchan means poor, no? Has nothing for himself. Who doesn't deserve even I for himself. Tvam akinchana gocharam. Only he can see God. And that is why Kanakdas said. I told last time. Kanakdas, is a big saint in Udupi. He said, when I goes, then I may go. He said like that. I told last time. When I goes, then I may go. Yeah. When I goes, then I may go back to God. When I goes, then I may go. He said this. Actually, the Kannada version, the statement is very nice for this. I forgot the Kannada for this. So anybody from Karnataka? Kannada? So you know this Kannada? When I goes, then I may go? Yeah. Actually, there's a rhyme for this. Yeah. It's very nice. And that's Krishna is waiting. So how to do that? That cannot be done by efforts. Human efforts, you can't do that. There's a limit to human efforts. Human efforts, we can do practice, we can offer, we can do service, we can do anything, but then there's a limit to human capabilities. This can happen by extraordinary mercy of Krishna. It cannot happen itself. It's impossible. By service, sacrifice, mercy, and these three fires I told. Fire of guilt, fire of separation, and fire of humbleness, then it is possible. So that's why Bhakti Santa used to say, when all the strings, when all the strings harmonize together, then there is music. Otherwise no music, no. The guitar, you have played guitar, so So one string you play something, another string something, another string something. No music. You have to together. You have to play all the strings together, and there is good music. So everything has to come together, and that is Sankirtanam. One meaning of Sankirtanam is, of course, Kirtanam doing together, congregation. Another meaning of Sankirtanam is when all these concepts come together. All these fire, prayers, blessings, efforts, sacrifice, sincerity, when all of them are together, then this thing is possible. Akinchan, to actually really become Akinchan. Otherwise it's not possible. There was a saint, Saint Teresa of Avila. You can go and have a look at the Google. She's a very famous saint in Christianity. This is not Mother Teresa. This is Saint Teresa of Avila, French actually. She was a saint. To have a designation of saint, that's a very big thing in Christianity. Everybody is not called saint. Those who are given this title saint, this means all Christianity recognizes them as true bona fide servant of God, and they have done miracles in their life, and that's what this saint is there. So when she used to meditate on God, many people saw him that she used to fly in air. She was up in the air. She was so absorbed. She was focused on the Lord. And what she used to do, she wrote a book, Interior Castle. If you can read that, that's a good book. You can just read it as a novel maybe, or maybe not. But the idea of that book is, that book shows, she writes her autobiography in that. Just like Bhaktivedanta Thakur writes. So she writes, and what she used to do is, whole night she used to sit and pray. She used to keep on praying. That's what she recommended to his devotees. Keep on praying, keep on asking for help. Because you are nothing in front of illusion. We are absolutely nothing, no? So, illusion can make you do any damn thing. Anything. She can make you do anything. She can make you do those things which you will not have even dreamt of. No, she can do anything. She is power of God. She can make you kill your own wife or husband. She can do that. She can make you kill your children. You'll be killing your children, and I am doing. She can do that. No, you can become mad. Mad people do that. No, your mind is out of control. And what do you do with that? So we can't underestimate her power, and that is why it is said, if a tree thinks it will protect itself from tsunami, he's foolish. He's fool. No, you can't do. Tree might be very strong, very big roots, but when tsunami comes, what tree will do? Like stupid. So that is why in Krishna consciousness, most important thing is mercy. That's the most important thing, mercy. Our efforts are there to attract mercy of Lord, and that's pretty much. Our efforts are not there to actually attain Lord Krishna, because he cannot be attained by our efforts. But what we can do is we can attract his mercy. And the most important component of efforts is service and prayers. So that's why Prabhupada says, no, chant 16 rounds on the beads and innumerable rounds off the beads. Prabhupada said, no, keep on chanting. Keep on chanting. Chanting means prayers. What we are doing. Keep on praying continuously. So Kunti Maharani says, Na eva arhati abhidhatum. Now this is important. Kunti Maharani says that if you manage to offer your eye to Krishna, then you will deserve the love of God. So idea is not to actually just love him, but to be loved by him. So it's not just we are loving him. That doesn't complete the picture. He should then love us. It's both ways, no? To love Krishna and to be loved by him. To love God and to be loved by God. So Kunti Maharani says, so this word arhati means deserve. Arhati means deserve. So people who are akinchan, they deserve the love of God. They deserve. Krishna will start loving you. It will not just be a monologue. It will be a dialogue then. And that is why you see all these acharyas, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur and also Bhakti Siddhanta, they used to talk with God. Vishwanath Thakur has written a book, Madhurya Kadamni, and there are dialogues with God, Krishna. And that's not unusual. I mean, to Sakshi Gopal, what is that? God was talking to that Brahmana. That story in Chaitanya Charitamrita, he was walking for him. So that reciprocation has to be there. And that's what Kunti Maharani says. If you give eye to him, he'll start reciprocating. To that proportion. He'll start reciprocating in an indirect way and then direct way. So our aim is to be loved by him. That's why Mahaprabhu says, Krishna Prem Pumartha Mahan. Krishna Prem is the aim of life. So what do you mean by Krishna Prem? Krishna Prem means to love Krishna and to be loved by Krishna. Actually both. So we are seeking, why we are trying to develop love for him? So that he loves us. So for him, not for us. Okay. So why do you want to love God? It's fun. That's not a good answer. Why do you want to love God? Okay, why? Because we have to love him. But of course, so what's the answer for that? Because he is seeking love. It's not we are seeking love. He is seeking love with his part and parcel, no? He wants to love us. He wants to love us because we are his part and parcel. That's why Krishna is saying in Gita, you come back to me. Why is he inviting us? Why? He's foolish or what? Or he needs something? No. He wants us to come back to him because then he will be happy and satisfied. So like parents want children to come back to their home, no? So they need to love their children, parents. Otherwise they'll feel empty within themselves. Krishna is like that. Krishna wants to love us, but he can't love us until unless we love him. So to fulfill his desire to love us, we want love. Are you understanding? Am I speaking something? Anyway, I know it's deep things, but nevertheless I am choosing to speak like that. That's all. So that's Kunti. So deep prayers, no? It's not easy. And if you read Prabhupada mentions these things, but you have to read properly. Otherwise, you'll miss the point. Prabhupada mentions here. And then Kunti Maharani, he says, Namo akinchana vittaya, nivritta guna vrittaye, atma ramaya shantaya, kaivalya pataye nama. This is a beautiful. Now she is now glorifying Krishna from 27th verse to 43rd verse. She is glorifying him. And in that glorification she says, Namo akinchana vittaya. So what do you mean by vitta? Anybody? What's the meaning of vitta? Vitta.
Lord.
Huh?
Lord.
No. With. That's with. This is vitta. T, not D. So vitta means money. Money. That verse is there. What's that? Mahatma Gyan tu Purvakam iti sneha. That devotion can be developed by offering a body, deha, and vitta, and money. And unless your mind is not fixed on God, start by offering your body, actions, and money. So that is common sense. That okay, we understand. So she says, Namo akinchana vittaya. Vitta means money, and akinchan means, of course, no money, exhausted. So Kunti is saying one of the name of Krishna is akinchana vitta. So now she is actually giving us many names of Krishna which we can chant in these prayers. Actually, most of the prayers are composed of names of God. so that in the form of prayers you are also glorifying His names. That's how all prayers are formed. In fact, in Bible, in Quran, you read all the religious books, holy names are there in those books. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita also, some acharyas say that Arjuna, he could understand the message of Krishna because he was speaking the names of God. Rishikesh, Madhusudan, Achyuta. He's speaking so many names. So as he was chanting the names, he got purified and he could understand the message. So in these prayers there are names. Akinchana Vitta, that's one of the name of Krishna. That he can only be achieved by those who are materially exhausted. He says, and then he says, Kunti Maharani says, Nagama Kenchana Vittaya Nivritta Guna Vrittaye. This is nice. Nivritta means, what's the meaning of Nivritta? Nivritta.
Negation.
Yeah. Nivritti and Pravritti. This you have heard? Yeah. So Pravritti means attachment and Nivritti means detachment. And there's a verse in Manu Samhita. Manu Samhita says most of the religious commandments are based on Pravritti. Okay, you are trying to channelize your attachment in service of God. But Manu says, Nivritti tu Mahaphalam. Detachment has great fruits. Detachment, Nivritti. If you can detach yourself from attachment, then you are success. So one of the name of Krishna is Nivritta Guna Vritta. So Nivritta means detached, Guna means modes of material nature, and Vritta means your affection. When you're detached from attachment, then you can attain Krishna. It's a beautiful name. Detached from attachment. Now what do you mean by this? Detached from attachment. What do you mean? Does it make sense to you? Detached from attachment. This is one of the names of Krishna. Detached from attachment. Completely transcendental. Nothing to do with actions and reactions of modes of material nature. This is another meaning. So Krishna is detached from attachment. He is not even attached to attachment. The concept of attachment. You know what it means? It means that Krishna and devotee have the ability to use attachment in whatever form they like. We are not interested even to become detached. We are not interested even to become attached. That's not a goal. We are interested to be servants of God. If detachment is useful in His service, okay. If attachment is useful, and so okay. If you say, I want to become detached, then it means you are attached to detachment. That's the problem there. You're in a fix. So then you'll be caught up in illusion. So that's why Krishna says, my devotees and me, myself, I am detached even from attachment. The concept of attachment is not there in me. The concept of detachment is also. I am not even attached to detachment. Whatever is useful we do. Prabhupada says, no, whatever is needful you do, that's all, finish. Otherwise, either you will become bhogi or you will become yogi. Either of those. Bhogi or tyagi. And in fact, that is the entire teaching of Bhaktivedanta. We are not to become bhogi, not to become tyagi, we are to become sevak, servants of God. So that is why Scripture says detachment. Detach yourself even from the concept of detachment. We are detached from attachment and we are detached from detachment also. Does it make sense? It's like that only. So we are not attached to anything, even to detachment. That's the idea. Otherwise you will be stuck up there. Because we simply want to be attached to Krishna, nothing else. Actually nothing else. That's why you see gopis. Gopis are the highest devotees, no? The greatest devotees. Why? Why not rishis? Why not munis? Why not Uddhav? Uddhav actually was a very dear friend of Krishna and disciple of Brahaspati. he is also not as great as gopis, because gopis left the detachment also. Everything they left for Krishna. They had nothing with them, absolutely nothing with them. They were really akinchan. They had nothing in their souls except Krishna. That's what we want. Even Prabhupada says, actually, I don't know what Prabhupada mentioned somewhere, even the slightest of satisfaction in anything material can bind you in this material world. Even the slightest of satisfaction, detachment can bind you. You have to come back again. So what is our duty? Our duty is to continuously monitor our soul, what's happening inside us. That you have to do. You have to continuously monitor your mind and soul, actually what's happening. And the slightest of trace of satisfaction in personal glorification, in money, in sense gratification, we have to take out and throw it away. If we want Krishna to come there in our soul. If you want to chant, then you can keep on chanting lives after lives. That's your choice. But that's not our choice now. That's not our choice. We have to chant with proper attitude. Prabhupada says in Nectar of Devotion, this is the attitude. Otherwise you don't get success in chanting. No success in chanting. If there's no proper attitude, then we'll succumb to illusion and we'll commit offenses. And then Mahaprabhu says, Bahu janma jadi kare, Shravan Kirtan tabu na paye, Krishna Prem Dhan. You will not get Krishna Prem Dhan, but you can get. Bhagavatam says, we all deserve love of God. We are born with a right to love Him, provided we listen to Him. Provided we don't break that contract with Him. And the contract is, I am your servant, you are my master. Then things can go. So that's one name, Nivritta Gunavritta. Another name of Krishna is Atmaram. Atmaramaya. I offer my obeisances unto who is Atmaram. And what do you mean by Atmaram? Okay, one of the meaning of Atmaram is Aram means satisfaction, or Ram means satisfaction, or Atma means self, who is satisfied within himself. But this meaning is probably meaning which is lied by Jnanis, philosophers. But what's a devotee understanding of this word, Atmaram? And Prabhupada says,
completely independent.
No, but then how do you conclude by this specific name, Atmaram? What's the devotee understanding of Atmaram? So now you can understand. Now Atmaram means self-satisfied, no? Who is satisfied in self. And what is self of Krishna? No. Devotees. Krishna considers devotees as his own self. And that is why when Krishna meditates on himself, he is meditating on his devotees. He is not meditating on himself. And that's why in Mahabharata we see when Krishna is meditating, and so once Krishna was there in Hastinapur, he got up in the morning, he was meditating on himself actually. Srimad Bhagavatam says, and Yudhishthira comes and he says, on whom you are meditating? So Mahabharata says he is meditating on himself. But actually Bhagavatam explains he was meditating on Bhishma, who was on the bed of arrows. So Bhagavatam explains that self of Krishna is devotees. Now Krishna considers his self as devotees. So Atmaram means who is satisfied in serving his devotees. That's the meaning of Atmaram. Just like we are satisfied in serving Krishna, so Krishna is satisfied in serving his devotees. That's very nice meaning. And who is the best devotee? Radha. So Atmaram means who is satisfied with Radha. So that's basically one of the intrinsic meaning of Atmaram. So Atmaramaya, Shantaya. This one name of Krishna, Shantaya. So what do you mean by Shant? Shant means? Shant means peaceful. Shant means peaceful. So, Shant means peaceful. So, but what do you understand by peace? What does Bhagavad Gita say about peace? No. What do you mean by peace? Who is peaceful? If the children stop making noise, is it peace? Exactly. Maybe not. So what do you mean? If the children stop making noise, then that is no noise. But that's not actually peace. Krishna defines peace in Gita as absence of material desires. That's peace. With material desires, nobody can be peaceful. You can pose yourself to be peaceful, but no, you cannot be peaceful. So that is Shantaya. Krishna is devoid of any material desires. No material desires. And his devotees are also like that. Absolutely no material desires. So then you will be peaceful, because then you have nothing to give, nothing to take from this world. So you are peaceful, you can sit in samadhi, you can sit in trance. But you have something to give, something to take, then you are not peaceful. Then you chant and 1,000 thoughts will come in your mind. I have to do this, I have to do that, I have to do this, because you are still involved in giving and taking with this material world. We have to give and take, that's one thing. But when you chant, then you understand that this job of giving and taking is temporary for some time. It's not my internal business. And in relationship to chanting, this is of absolutely no worth. So your mind stops. So you are not possessed by that tendency to give and take. That's the idea. So that is why it's called Shantaya. He has no material desires. Anybody who contacts him, he also becomes devoid of material desires. And that's very and there's evidence for that. The evidence for that is that Prabhupada preached in America, and there are so many hippies, you see, and now they're sannyasis. You can imagine. To become sannyasi is a big thing. From hippie to sannyasi, that's a very big thing. You can become sannyasi from a very Brahmanical background, that makes sense. From hippies to sannyasi, that's impossible. And that's why Prabhupada says, this is my miracle. This is a magic I did. You want to see magic? Okay, see this. Actually, when I came to Krishna Consciousness, you also might have heard this statement, no? Somebody asked Prabhupada, what magic you did? Prabhupada says, okay, these are the devotees, I did magic. So at that time I didn't realize the depth of this statement. Okay, Prabhupada made devotees, so this is magic. But that's not the entire depth. Depth is that Prabhupada made those people who were absorbed in material desires into a person who is devoid of material desires. And that's very, so it's almost like you have a black bed sheet and you make it into white. You have to bleach it, that's all. You can't wash it. So that's what Prabhupada did. That is called Shantaya. No material desires. No material desires. We don't have any material desires. In fact, when we start devotion, in Krishna conscious, not only we come, but we also bring our material desires with ourselves. It's not, we bring entire baggage with ourselves. It's not just we are coming, no, and we left behind. It's not like that. So we bring our material desires, but if we surrender to Krishna and we understand this process, be sincere, one day we can become free of all material desires. Shanta. And Krishna, and actually Prabhupada's Gita, Prabhupada translates Shanta as, somewhere in one of the words, as love. So Shant means peace. Peace means no material desires. No material desires means spiritual desires. That's all, that's love. So ultimate peace is love. Shanta. I don't know I forgot that verse, but Prabhupada translates Shanti as love. So real meaning of Shanti is love. Love of God. That's the real meaning of Shanti. So that's Shantaya. Prabhupada mentions here in the context, Shanta is one of the name of God. And another meaning of Shant Prabhupada gives here is the most gentle. So actually it's a beautiful meaning. The most gentle. So Krishna can be very hard in the battlefield, and he can at the same time be most gentle. So it is said, when Prabhupada writes in Krishna book, when Krishna used to walk in the forest in Vrindavan, and when leaves used to touch him, his body used to become, the leaves used to leave an imprint on his body, just by touching. He was so soft and so gentle. He was gentle as a rose and hard as a thunderbolt. Both things. How it is that we can't understand. But he was like that. That's God. So Shanta means the most gentle. He's very gentle. And he gently helps us to get out of this material world. Slowly and gently he'll take out from us from the material world. Just like a surgeon, no? So if you have some bullet or something pierced, some needle inside your skin, go to surgeon. Surgeon will slowly, gently take out that needle, and that's a good surgeon. If you go to India, you will have your fun, They'll just hold your hand, no anesthesia, and pull it out. India, it's like that. So because I myself was working in government hospital, we do like that. People come with wounds, and we just slap them and make them anesthetize by slapping, not by anesthesia. That's what we do. Just one slap. If he shouts, another slap, and just catch off their hand and do whatever we want and just get out. So, but Krishna is not like that. Krishna, we are very badly diseased. Our heart is wounded. There are so many things stuck up in our heart. So many knots, so many attachments. Krishna, like a surgeon, he'll gently cut all those knots and take out all those things. And when he's doing this, you might feel pain. Of course, you feel pain, no matter how much gently surgeon does, but at least you will feel fear. Not just pain, but fear, is it? Surgeon can give you anesthesia, but still you will be fearful. My God, what's happening? No, doctor, please slowly. He'll say, I anesthetize you. But then when you see him bringing big needle, oh my God. No. He says, no, it will not pain, but still you have fear. So it's not question of pain, but fear. You will have fear. That's why Krishna says, do not fear. He doesn't say, do not shout because of pain, but he says, do not fear, because the process is painless, but you will fear. Because he's healing your wounds from millions and millions and millions of lives. It's not just this life. There are so many things stuck up in our heart. We ourselves do not know. So, what's the best thing? If you go to a doctor, what do? If you want to be treated, I surrender to you. Then you can be treated. Otherwise, and just keep calm. So, the one meaning is Shanta. He's gentle. He gently leads us. Krishna gently leads us back to him. That's the idea. So, and then another last name is Kevalya Pate Nama. This glorification is beautiful. You can find so many names of Krishna. Kunti is giving. So Kevalya Pate Nama. And what's the meaning of Kevalya Pati? What's the meaning of Kevalya Pati? So what do you mean by Kevalya? Kevalya means liberation. Liberation. Keval Gyan. It's called Keval Gyan. Kevalya means liberation. So anybody who knows Hindi, Keval means only. Keval means only. So when there's nothing and only Krishna in your life, that is called Kevalya, Keval. And from that word comes Kevalya, or liberation. But most of the times, this word Kevalya is used by impersonalists, not by devotees. They like to call liberation as Kevalya, because impersonalists use this word. Impersonalists or Jnanis. Devotees do not use this word Kevalya. Devotees mostly use the word love or Shant, like that. So Krishna, Kunti says, Kevalya Pate, you are the master of those who are liberated. who are already liberated, you are their master. You can even lead them to your lotus feet. Just like, for example, Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami was a self-realized person, but when he heard Bhagavatam, he was attracted towards Krishna. Or 4 sons of Brahma, they were self-realized, but when they saw Vishnu and smelled Tulsi, they became devotees. So Krishna can not only lead us who are absolutely nonsense, he has also capability to lead self-realized souls. He's a best leader. He's a best guide. That Kunti is trying to glorify Krishna as. And then we can discuss afterwards prayers of Queen Kunti. There are so many other names of Krishna. We'll discuss afterwards. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Any questions? Otherwise, I'll just stop here. Go and read these purports by Prabhupada. When I've explained you, now you will find these points here. So anything you want to ask, we'll stop here.
So Prabhuji, when you said Sukadeva Goswami was self-realized and later he became devotee, before Kumara was self-realized.
Yeah.
So what does that actually self-realized mean?
Self-realized means, in that context, the ability to separate matter from soul. That's all. Yeah, they can clearly see this is matter and this is spirit. That's all. But they can't see form of God.
Are they not attracted to God even at that stage? Or
No. Even if you become self-realized, if we are not following the process of bhakti and not be devotees, we will not get love. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. That's why that verse is there. So Atma Ramas Chamunyo Nirgranthya Purukrame Kurbanti Ahito Kim Bhakti Mitham Bhuta Goto Andari. Mahaprabhu says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the 64 meanings of that verse. Even persons who are self-realized, they will be attracted towards God. So this shows that even if you are self-realized, you might not attain love of God. Because self-realization can be had by efforts. Self-efforts and knowledge. You can get self-realization. But devotion without blessings, without association of devotees, not possible. We can't elevate.
Probably you were mentioning that only Krishna can give. We can know him through.
We can know him through him.
Through him.
There is no other way.
Like our general understanding is we can know him through a pure devotee or guru or other.
Yeah, we can know him through pure devotee, but then there is no difference between pure devotee and him. Sakshat dharitvena samasta shastair kintu prabhorya priyavatasya. So Krishna manifests himself in form of pure devotees. But then pure devotees will. So that is why it is said, devotees and Krishna, it's all the same. We can know him through him. Bhakti, we can know him through bhakti. It is said no. So what is bhakti? Bhakti is he himself. There is no difference between him and bhakti. So all these are various forms. Krishna makes himself accessible in various forms, so that you know him through him. There is no other way. Holy name is he himself, no? So if you say you can know him through holy name, it's almost saying the same thing. You can know him through him. The same thing. In different way. That's all.
Prabhuji, we said that we can't be attached to our richness, right, our possession. But how do we mark a line between protection and possessiveness?
What is protection?
We have to protect, right, our riches so that
you can protect. Possessiveness means using for selfish use. That means possessiveness. It's not that this bag is mine, so I should forget this and somebody will steal it. Okay, good. No, that is madness. Possessiveness means this is for me. If you think this is for Krishna, then no possessiveness. So you protect it because it belongs to Krishna. That's all. Simple. Of course it's not that simple, but there is a subtle line there. But anyway, you can. Okay, so that's it. Yeah, Mataji.
Prabhuji, this question is not directly on this, but something connected to devotees and impersonalists.
So,
The 12 chapters